If you've ever caught yourself telling that, I want to do this, I want to do that, but eventually ending up telling yourself that I am busy, this video is for you. For a long period of time, I thought that being busy meant being productive, but it is actually the other way around. And in today's episode, what I'm going to share with you are some of the learnings that I've had myself, which I'm going to elaborate. And essentially, my purpose is to help you take away learnings in terms of how to manage your time better, effectively, and efficiently so that you can stop wasting it and manage it like a pro. On that note, let's begin. Well, the reason why I wanted to bring this video about managing time is very personal. Well, this is something that I've been working on for about 1.5 years. It was just a shift with the way I was telling myself about one thing. I stopped saying that I'm busy. And trust me, the secret lies in not saying I'm busy, but in actually taking the control of your time. And that's what we are going to elaborate upon. How often do you say that I'm busy? Think about it, take a step back and write down in the comments, right? It is this I am busy trap that we need to get rid of. You see, when we say I'm busy, we are essentially creating a mental block. We give ourselves an excuse to not evaluate or re-evaluate our priorities. Instead, what I've personally learned is to say that I'm focusing on X because this shift helps me direct my energy intentionally. And that is something extremely important. Here's an interesting trivia for you all. Did you know that the studies show people who say I'm too busy actually report feeling more stressed than those who don't? It's not the workload, it's the mindset. I repeat, it's not the workload, it's the mindset. The time drainers. Guess what these time drainers were? Very simple. The social media. The time that we spend binge watching on Netflix or Amazon Prime, whatever. The time that we spend scrolling through TikTok videos or the YouTube videos, etc. Now, trust me when I say these are the sneaky culprits that come into your lives and they exhaust you like anything, and they take away the majority of the time from you, which you could have used to be more productive, to be more efficient, and most importantly, to enjoy something that you really want to. Right? And some might say that, I do this because it helps me relax. Well, good for you, because trust me, it doesn't. And you can look up to a lot of research, a lot of different things, what it does to you when you do endless scrolling without a head, without any mind, without any intentionality. It is actually pulling you down at a level of energy, and of course, you end up wasting your time. I will not deny that I have fallen for this trap 100%. But if we are able to get rid of these time drainers, trust me, they add immense value, and suddenly you will realize that the quotient of joy and the quotient of effectiveness in your life really goes up. So what's the solution? The solution is very simple. Be intentional. Just be intentional. If you're spending time on social media, make sure it's purposeful. For example, watch Unfoldlearning Podcast and learn something for yourself and people around you. Whether it's networking, learning, or getting inspired, let it be a tool for growth and not really a trap. And if it's a trap, get rid of it. A few things that has helped me over the years is actually removing the social media apps from my home screen. It is actually embedded within, so that I have to take some time, give it a few seconds to get onto that app and then open. Remember, our brains are wired, right, in a particular way, and our brains will take shortcuts to find the easy way out. So make it difficult for the brain to go to that social media app on your phone, right? And that kind of helps. Also, there are a lot of apps which helps you to slow down your process. Like, for example, if you click on your Instagram, it will give you about 3 to 5 seconds to think, are you sure you want to do this right now? And imagine how it can help you and prevent you from distractions when you're deep into some work or you're thinking about doing something other than just being passive and ridiculously scrolling. Interesting part, like what are those skills that we can master to actually be a pro at managing time and not really wasting it? And when I say managing time, the logic checks are very simple. Well, I'm using my time with intentionality and I'm using my time to do something that gives me joy and helps me to feel productive. That's the logic check that we need to apply. Number one is prioritization. The most fundamental aspect when you think about managing your time and being productive. When you think of prioritization, what you can do, and you can scale it across a month, across a week, or on a day. I'm going to share with you on a daily basis. You wake up and let's say you get onto your work, and it could be anything. It could be studies, it could be your office work, it could be anything that you're working towards. At first, list down everything that you think is important for the day. Right? That's the step one. Step two. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You need to identify 3 big rocks. Right? And when I say big rocks, I mean really the big rocks. Now, an easy way to define it is that if you are not doing these 3 things, these big rocks, then all other priorities will fail. Right? Identify those 3 big rocks that you cannot miss out. If you miss, that means everything will fall apart. Now, out of that whole list, once you have identified your 3 big rocks, and I'm repeating, only 3, not 4, not 2, 3 big rocks. Once you identify those 3 big rocks, identify 2 small rocks. Right? And these 2 small rocks are extremely personal to yourself. Something that you have been wanting to do or longing for some time. Maybe your hobby, or maybe things like meditating, journaling, reading, etc. Whatever you would want to do. In my case, these 2 side rocks were essentially my podcast journey, which I started about like 9 months ago or 10 months ago. And then slowly now I've started to build some momentum, right? Now it is falling into those big rocks. But very simple. When you think about prioritization, you think about everything that you got to do in a day. Identify 3 big rocks for that day that are non-negotiable, and then the 2 side rocks that are more personal to you. This whole scheme of prioritization, the biggest logic check that I want to share with you is that never, ever do more than 5 priorities in a day. Time blocking. It's actually using your calendar in the best possible way. When you identify your big rocks, when you identify your small rocks, you actually place them into your calendar, right? You control the calendar and give yourself that time. A particular aspect could take about 1 hour, could take about 2 hours. Put that into your calendar and follow it diligently. Now, one could say that, oh, is my life a function of the calendar? Well, maybe yes. If it helps you to be in a process, to be in a regime, yes, it is what it is. Because if you would want to manage your time in the most efficient way, calendaring is imperative. You cannot go away from it. There are a lot of tools, there are a lot of ways to calendar, pen, paper, digital, do whatever you want to. But trust me, if you're not blocking time, if you're not having chunks for your big rocks, for your small rocks, you are not going to be able to manage your time. These 2, if you are able to master, prioritization, and let me put a prefix to it, aggressive prioritization and time blocking, nobody can stop you from being productive, effective, and efficient with your time. Also, let me tell you, there will be days where you might do the prioritization, where you might do the time blocking, but you find that you are not able to finish it within that given time, and it's okay. Remember, it's a part of the practice. Remember, it's a process. It's a journey. Give yourself that time. Be kind to yourself and trust the process. Remember, everybody has 24 hours with them. But what is the game-changing factor? It's what they do with those 24 hours. Productivity, managing time efficiently, effectively, is not about doing more. Rather, it's about doing what really matters to you. On that note, thank you very much for being there. I hope this video resonated with you. Treat this as an experiment and don't miss to subscribe the channel Unfoldlearning Podcast. This is your host Kaustav and I will see you next week. Thank you for being there.